Hello, it's Grandma Karen. Now that you've chosen the correct chair and table for sewing, we will begin to look at all the different knobs and buttons on your machine. For the first few lessons, you will see that there are several videos. The first one is a generic video covering all machines. The rest are for specific Bernina machines that my grandchildren have. The videos are meant for ages 10 and older and are meant to be done with a mentor, a grandparent, aunt, friend, or sibling. There is usually a mentor's note at the end of the video. In this video, we will be looking at the Bernina Activa 135S. This is the manual or guide for the machine. It has details about all the things I am showing you. If you have questions, check your guidebook. I put large paper clips on the pages that are important. For example, this page labels the parts of your machine. If you do not have a manual, ask your local Bernina dealer if they can get one for you. There are also many manuals for older machines online. The download is often free or has a small cost. You can also print out the worksheet downloads listed under the video and draw on and label the machines. These are my attempt at labeling my machine. Let's look at the right side of the machine. This is the power plug socket. One side of the hole is flat, the other side is rounded. The flat side of the cord goes in here pointing down, and the other side goes into the wall. Just above the power cord socket is the on and on switch, or the power switch. There is a line and a circle on the switch. When you press the line, the machine is on. You can see that the light turns on and it makes a small noise as the needle moves into position. When you press the circle, the machine is turned off. This is the foot control, or the foot pedal. You will put your foot on this pedal to make the machine sew. Turn it over and you unwind the cord. This is the foot control socket right here, and it plugs in right there. When you're done unwinding it all the way, you'll put it on the floor and your whole foot will go on the pedal. If you have a small brother or sister, be sure to turn off your machine. If they push on the pedal, they may hurt themselves as the needle goes up and down. If you have a pet, they may burn out the motor if they sit on the pedal for a long time. When you put your machine away, be sure to wind the cord around underneath the foot. Try not to make it too tight. This white square-like button is called the drop feed dog button. The feed dog, sometimes we just call it the feed, pushes the fabric through the machine and looks kind of like little teeth under the needle. Here's a picture of the feed dog up and working to push the fabric through the machine, and then a photo with the feed dropped. It will not push the fabric. This photo shows two symbols. The red arrow on the left points to the symbol for regular sewing. The feed dog is up and working. The symbol looks like a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch. The green arrow on the right points to the symbol for darning or dropping the feed dog. This symbol means the fabric won't feed through the machine. Let's look at the feed drop button again. If you push this button in, it will stay pressed in. The feed dog is dropped. Your fabric will not feed through the machine if this is pressed in. Press the button again and it pops back out. This is how it should look when you begin sewing. If your machine is not sewing correctly, look at the drop feed button and make sure it is popped out. If you look closely, you can see the sewing and darning symbols above the button. I have marked them with blue chalk. This is the hand wheel. It is part of the system that makes the needle go up and down, and it makes the threads form stitches. When you press the foot control, it will spin around and it goes really fast. Try to keep your hands away from it when it is moving. Sometimes you will move the hand wheel with your hands instead of with your foot control. When you turn the hand wheel with your hands, you need to turn the top towards you, not away. The needle will go up and down if you turn it away from you, but it will not make stitches. We will talk about the reverse button in a later video. This is the vertical collapsible spool pin. It swings up when you need it. If I take this pink spool off, you can notice that there's a red felt disc underneath it. This felt helps prevent the spool from jumping off and rolling away. It also helps cut down on the noise of the spool when it's spinning. I take the spool off, and then I can put this down. And when I'm not using this spool pin, it's better to keep it down, especially when you move the machine to put it away. The other spool pin with the black thread on it is called the horizontal spool pin. It has a piece of foam that goes in first instead of red felt. It also needs a spool cap or spool disc to keep it from coming off. We will learn more about when to use the different spool pins in a later video. This is the balance dial. It is used to make some types of stitches closer together or farther apart. We will be doing mostly straight stitches and we won't be using this dial very often. I have marked the 3 little stitch settings near the dial with blue chalk so you can see them. When you start to sew, make sure the black dot on the dial is pointing to the center stitch. This little ledge is the slide-on table socket. We will talk about this in a few minutes. There's also one on the front of the machine. On the back of the machine, you will see a silver lever right here. This is the presser foot lifter. This right down here is the presser foot, and that's the presser foot lifter. When you start to sew, you put the presser foot down to hold the fabric as it goes through the machine. When you get to the end of the sewing, you put the presser foot up. This presser foot lever or presser foot lifter is how you put the presser foot up and down. This is the throat of the machine. Reach your right hand through the throat of the machine, find the presser foot lever with your hand, and put it up and down. We'll talk about presser feet more in our next lesson. This is the presser foot clamping lever. It is much smaller than the presser foot lifter. It is how you put this presser foot on and off. We will practice attaching and removing the presser foot in our next video. This is the rear thread guide. Now let's look at the left side of the sewing machine. This is the thread cutter. To use it, you hold the thread between both of your hands and you just put it on top of that thread cutter and pull down and it will cut the thread. This is the slide-on table that came with your machine. It gives you more space to rest your fabric on. To put it on, you lift up your presser foot and you make sure that the needle is all the way to at its up position. This is very important, so let me say it again. The needle and the presser foot must be in the up position. So you're just going to slide this table on here. Going to go underneath the presser foot. You're going to want to try to keep it level with the bed of your machine and just push and it will go into the slots, the little ledges on the front and the back. And to remove the table, make sure that the presser foot and needle are up in the up position again. Pull the table to the left, keeping it level with the bed of the machine, and then you just put it off. Make sure that you always store this properly because if it gets stepped on, it can break. For your homework, you need to show your teacher, your parent, or your mentor that you understand and can do the following things. You can pause the video or take a photo of the homework. Number 1, plug in the machine and the foot control. Show how to put away the foot control. 2, turn the hand wheel back and forth and see the needle go up and down. Tell your mentor which way you turn the hand wheel if you are using your hand to turn the hand wheel. 3, make sure the feed dog button is not pressed in. 4, flip the vertical spool pin up and then back down for storing. 5, make sure the balance dial points to the center dot. 6, lower and raise the presser foot a few times by using the presser foot lifter and putting your hand through the throat of the machine. 7, cut a thread with the cutter on the left side of the machine. 8, attach and remove the slide-on table. In our next video, we will learn about presser feet and how to use your hands to sew. See you next time. Here's a few mentor notes. Become familiar with the different buttons on your student's machine. Help them find a manual and look at the pages that show the parts of the machine. If there is no manual, print out the worksheets in the link below the video or make a photo or rough draft drawing of the machine and label the parts we talked about today.